So we're going through our categories. It's the same categories we're dealing with every planet. We're going through the same thing every week. We're just going through the steps, only we're relating it to Mars now. So it's hard to separate just the band that's Mars from the band that's Venus, from the band that's Mercury. These are all like salad dressings of different layers. We look at a chart, we look at each other, it's all shook up, and we get pieces of it with all different levels interacting with each other. But as an astrologer, you stop, you look at it, you can begin to start seeing how one thing works at a time. You begin to focus to one planet, see one layer at a time, which is what we're doing. This is the development of in-depth thinking. So half of the year, the daylight's increasing. December 22nd to June 21st, the whole winter and spring, daylight's increasing. As the light's increasing, the movement is to be more independent. The movement, as there's more light, we can do more things. By springtime, the last thing on earth we want to do at home is stay at home. We're going to kill somebody if we don't get out and do something. But in the winter, we still want to do things, but it's limited by how cold it is, how difficult it is to go out, how, like by our thought, we have to have a plan, and sometimes you can plan things and it still rains or snows and it's complicated, so it gets complicated. So you still want to do things, but it's more complicated in the winter, more difficult in the winter. By the time you get to springtime, you're on a roll and going, and it's still building up. So all these signs, even the cautious Capricorn, is trying to do things more freely, more independently, and the Gemini is trying to be even take it as far as it can go. So if Mars is in these signs, its daylight is increasing. It's pushing to be more independent, to do my own thing more. Don't tell me how to do it. I'm pushing to do my own thing. I'm going to do my own thing. And so all of these signs have this push. They're going to use their Mars for more independent experiences, to do it oneself, not to be told what to do. So there's a certain element of mischievous. You might be interpreted as mischievous, but they're going to get their confidence and their strengths just because they desire it and they're trying to get more of it. But even among those six, there'll be a lot of other categories that make it more differentiated. But this first process, do it yourself. Make it happen. Prove it. I want to do it, and I want to do it more than I'm doing it. I want to change this. I want to make it better. I want to go further. I want to get more experience. That's steadily a conscious factor from Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini. So Mars on that side. So when you compare it to the other side, Mars in the darkness increasing. When darkness increasing, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sag, when you have the darkness increasing, you have the sensitivity to others and the need to belong more. I want to do it for you. I did it for you. Now you owe me. I did it for you. I want to do this together. Let's be together. I want to do things with, it's not just being more independent. I'm doing things to belong more, to have a home, to have a kid, to have a job, to have a relationship, to have trust and commitment, and to have many adventures and sharing and doing things together. So the number of people, be interesting to see who wants to go on a cruise or who would rather go biking or climb a mountain or go hiking by themselves. Like in terms of holidays, I think you would see this distinction fairly clear in any category. But you'll see in a sports field, if someone's on a sports level, you'll see some people are pushing to do their own thing more and more, pushing their limit as best as they can, just to see how far they can take it, and then still push. And some people will be working as the team players. Just when they're going for it, they'll pass the ball to someone else because they're trying to work as a team more. They're putting their energy with other people more. So the nighttime increasing has the putting the energy with other people, doing things for other people, with other people. And of course, the anger will come up when other people don't match your energy. You passed it, they didn't do it. What'd you do? I passed it to you. Why didn't you shoot it? Shoot it. There's that expectation for the other person and the increasing responsibility of doing things for others and with others and sharing. So that's the nighttime increasing half. The daylight increasing half would be they get mad at themselves for missing a punt or not kicking it on time or doing something, blowing it. But they wouldn't have the social stigma on it. They'd just be, I didn't do it. They'd be mad at themselves. If other people pick them, they'll just be more fighting, more angry. But one is tied up into reaction more than the other. And one is trying to do things more with other people and getting high on it. Then it's not like someone with a Mars and Scorpio can't do their own thing. They can. But the attitude is geared, this little difference of pushing to be more independent, pushing to do things for others more, to be more meaningful in what you're doing. Those are two different sides between increasing freedom and increasing responsibility. And that weight and that attitude coming down onto the Mars of how you do things will have a strong effect on what you do. I mean, much of what you do is based on our choice as Venus. So we already have one, and the way we think always have factors coming in to affect, to try and direct this. But Mars, just see your Mars. I mean, I have my Mars in Scorpio. I can't stand to be told what to do. Although I do things so that other people will react to it, and I expect them to be involved with it. So whether I'm being told what to do, or I'm telling people what to do, I'm really involved in that process of proving myself in terms of others, or living meaningfully, or getting meaningful experiences. But my reason for doing things is not so much to do it myself as much to, hey, Mom, look at me. Hi, honey, wasn't I best for you? I'm looking to get feedback or encouragement or applause or support from it. And the momentum of doing things more with people, more with teams, more with groups. I've tried to do many things to start many groups in astrology, that they didn't all work, but my direction was, and enthusiasm goes to that. I'm into this. Other people must, we got to do it. We go for it. But when you have it on the day plan, it's just, I got to do this. It's something I want. It's often you want to do things just that you've done across yourself, not because someone else is telling you or someone, it's just your adventure. Simpler to be just doing your own thing, but often more relevant to do it. So someone that's really independent will try and compensate a little and throw some of its energy to help other people, but they're not going to have the response level to other people quite so well. So the same way as you deal with the signs, you see it on the Mars. I mean, Mars almost is like the Sun. Sun is your confidence and your willpower, but the Sun is your power and your use of energy and force. It's easy to confuse the two. They're similar, and when they work together, you have a really strong, magnetic, powerful person. Right? So a really physical, active person, and everybody starts from a different level. Someone is born with not able to walk. They got to put their strength and get their experiences in whatever ways they can. We fight for inches, and we fight and we try and stretch anything we're doing at any time in our life. But after big periods of effort, we have to recharge, and we can make the effort again. And like just the heart is the main muscle. Okay, it's pumping. That's it. That's it pushes the air, the oxygen. That's it. But it does it in different qualities. It's interesting. We often think of muscles as just our arm muscles or our leg muscles, but we think of the muscles. But really, what's the strongest muscle in the body? The strongest muscle in the body is your jaw. You can be wiped out. You can be almost dead. You're still talking. You still can move your jaw. You bite things, you crunch things. It's a really strong muscle, and if it messes up, it affects your hearing. It affects your balance affects so many things. So muscles, Saturn's bones, but muscles, it's even with healing, it's two different things. You have problems with the bones. Usually, you have to, if the bones are painful, you usually have to chill it so the bones shrink a little bit and take off some of the pressure on a nerve. But if the muscles are there, you warm it to soften it. And there's different ways of working with energy and muscles and of messing up with it. So it's always a puzzle, and you notice, oh, it's working like this. But there's always 5 or 6 ways you can use the Mars. So a lot of people are just living in their Mars, what they're doing within a year. Many relationships don't last 2 years, and everyone's living within this 2-year passion cycle. I did this. Well, Venus is saying, I want to get more. I'm doing more. And we have this give and take. So, okay, it's simple, but this movement, it gives you a beginning to see, are they working like this? You begin to see, well, it works best when you're doing it that way. It's best when you use Mars in the direction you were born to use it with. So someone could be very interactive and be doing everything part of a team and group. And then one point when the group's all going, I think of the Supremes, or you might think of different teams, but Diana Ross, if she hadn't left the group and done her own thing, she wouldn't have become anywhere as famous. She was in a much better level than other people. So sometimes someone who's very independent can push things to do their own thing and break away, go with the group and then break away from it, no problem. Of course, some people who are really tied into the group can really blame the group and be tied up to the reactions and interactions of the group or the team. Harder to break away, easier to do things in context. The challenge is still there. So each one, a group-oriented person, someone with Mars in the nighttime increasing, can still do things independently. It's easier to do it with a little bit of encouragement. You know, and the daylight increasing might want encouragement too, but really they want applause, but they don't want you to have to do it for them or tell them how to do it. They're just going to, and if you're telling them anything, it's so that they can do it themselves better, but they're not going to listen that much. There's a certain point when they want to do it before they listen. You know, and Aries would rather hop on the bike and crash it 3 or 4 times rather than just think about it and be patient and be told how to balance and how to do all those things. So, okay. I'm just rambling with different experiences of ways this could come up. But these themes are there, and these are the themes that are generally ignored by astrology, by popular modern astrology, because most popular modern astrology is linked up to mathematical deductions and associations more than it is connected to nature. But the signs of the zodiac are the seasons of the year. They're connected to nature. It's how we live in nature. It's totally natural. The planets in the houses are where they would be in the hours of the day. And those hours of the day have their own daily types of experiences we attract. And that's still part of nature too. It's not just by numbers. So in some of the popular astrology, you'll see people say Aries is like the first house, and then just interpret them the same, memorize everything as if it's a house and put it all in the house and then interpret it. But boy, it jumbles everything together. You can do it, but it's like bad eyesight, and having bad eyesight and going out without your glasses on thinking it's okay. You're not seeing as clearly or as lucidly as you can. So by doing these worksheets and working with this, you're capable of making your connection. How does this work for me? How do I see me? And do I see how I align with this? That's where you'll start to see, wow, this works for me like this. Once you get that anchored, and once you see those connections, you'll start to see how other people do it similarly or differently. And then astrology just comes alive. So, okay, we saw the movement, the momentum towards freedom and momentum towards belonging more. Here, when daylight is greater or darkness is greater, we're looking at a straight statement. It's, I'm me, I'm more independent, I'm doing my own thing, I'm me, or we, us, I'm doing it with us, with others. So even though Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces are the daylight increasing and moving towards freedom, they're really in the darkness, the greater half. They're really more aware of other people and being conditioned by others around them more than by themselves. And the same way with Cancer, Leo, Virgo, even though they're in the nighttime increasing, they're still very independent things and want to do things their way. They want to do things with you, but you want to do it their way. You have to align to them. So when they don't, they're not happy. So the Mars works the same way. When the daylight is greater, I'm just doing my own thing. Get out of my way. This is me. This is my energy. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo. It's not about what we're doing. It's I'm doing. It's not what I want. What I want to do is what I'm doing. It's not what we want to do. It's what I want to do. You know, like, so just because you did it didn't mean I want to do it. But if you did it and I want to do it, I'm going to compete and I want to do it in my own way with that, or go faster with just go do it. So this independence, that independence, we're seeing it, I'm using a specific energy, but the minute you get in a relationship, or you have a kid, or you're in a marriage, this becomes, you're doing your own thing. What? We're supposed to do it together. We're supposed to take turns. We'll set up a plan. We'll do these things, take care of the kids, do the dishes. We'll set up the plan. And the I, me people, the daylight greater Mars isn't going to want to do that. That's not how they're going to process. They'll try and stay ahead of the game and do things, but they're not going to do things because they're listening to others that much. That's more an interference. So is that a blessing or a curse in a relationship? Or is a relationship a blessing and curse to my freedom? Or is it the way I do things?